awaking every day with a new revolution. Normally, I don't pay too much attention to the news or television, but something serious is happening, that's for sure. Shannon is worried too. She wants us to go to the town to buy some food. Supplies, she says. She says that she's talked with some neighbors, and they're getting prepared. There has been lots of tension that seemed forgotten in Europe. A wave of violence? A new world war? I already said that you can't trust those commies. Very true, very true. Can't trust those commies. March 7th. They're not communistic in Poland, though, I don't think. Let's see here. March 7th. A week has passed since the last time I wrote. I didn't really know quite what to say today. They're talking about an infection. People are getting ill all around the world. They die easily. They are sacrificing animals. Europe is in quarantine and nobody knows what to do. There have already been some confirmed cases on the east coast of the USA. The Prime Minister says that there is nothing to be worried about, but nobody believes him. Yeah, because that's Canada. They don't remember. That's the Prime Minister. Okay. Let's see here. I forbade my wife from leaving the house. I will take care of everything. March 10th. We had a meeting in the head office. One of the Mounties supervisors has come to visit us and given us some advice, plus information. It seems like it is a rabies epidemic, but the virus is mutated, he says, and like during any other epidemic, we need to take special precaution when dealing with wild animals. In some cases, the deaths and mutilations, like other problems in the forest, have stemmed from them. If a human is attacked, he will present the same symptoms almost immediately. We must raise the alarm about any sighting on the mountain. Here's some here with the mutagen. March 12th. The wave of violence has spread beyond Europe. They say that the hospitals weren't ready for something like this, but what does something like this mean? What are they talking about? What innocent rabies epidemic? No, I don't believe them. But the lies go further. People on this side of the ocean say that everything is under control. They're talking about more than 300 people being affected. But I don't really know if that word means the dead or the infected. Those bastard politicians, they keep lying. Today, a plane crashed in the Gulf of Mexico. Nearly 150 people are missing. And God is considering doing anything? What? Okay. I am not a religious person, but I know that any wild fox that I protect out there is stronger and fairer than the God that they pray to. I need to go back to the forest, go back to the place where I am who I am. I am what I am. And where nothing worries me. March 16th. Nobody walks the streets alone. Everybody goes with somebody else. We can chew the fear like wasted chewing gum that lasts forever. The everlasting gobstopper. They broadcasted some images on TV. A man entered a bank and without saying anything attacked the workers and customers. Happens every day. He didn't take a single cent. When he went out, the police shot him, but he kept walking toward them without fear. Too much blood on TV these days. March 23rd. Shannon, my wife, is very nervous, but she doesn't want Lydia to know it. We keep her out of it. March 25th. We've lost communication with the world outside. With the outside world. Yesterday, I switched on the TV, and they were broadcasting an emergency signal together with an irritating buzz. Also, those cowards in Ottawa are hiding. The radio isn't working either. We can't hear anything. Well, I lied. The local station is working, but they kept putting music on all day. Nobody speaks, nobody tells us anything. There is a heavy silence. April 20th. I haven't written anything for quite some time. Our town was overrun. I fought with Ben and the other men, but our barricades were useless, and there is no stopping them. When I got back to the house, Shannon and Lydia had gone, just like everyone else. There had been a mass exodus from the town of Hope. Parker and I followed, and since then we haven't separated, even to answer the call of nature. We walked through the forest, fleeing the catastrophe, channeling our remorse, until we reached Vancouver. We thought that in a big city things would be better. We'd find our people. Grammar Nazi happening here. That's we find our people. How naive we were. Vancouver is unrecognizable. There is no food, no fuel, no hope. We ran away, taking shelter like animals, barely sleeping. Run away. There are hundreds of these things everywhere. That's no ordinary rodent. He'll do you up a trick, matey. Shadows. That's what they've called them since it started. Shadows that live in the darkness. That once had human form, that once belonged to men. Shadows of a life that has ended. Their sinister wails torment us night after night. I think of Shannon and Lydia every second. They're out there somewhere, frightened and on the run. Talk about looking for a needle in a haystack. I miss them so much. April 30th. Today, Parker and I discovered a group of survivors. They had been hiding since the city collapsed more than a month ago. Like in Hope, they no longer have water and food. They are scared. They drift around the city suburbs, and for a moment, they were about to kill Ben and me. The group is composed of 2 adult males and 2 women. They are armed. One of the men is a cop, but he is very old. The other seems like he's never shot a gun in his life. He looks like a university professor. Redhead, skinny, cannon fodder. The women are twins, young. They are a reflection of each other. It seems that they're not related to the men, but I don't know why the men have been protecting them for such a long time. The old man says that he heard a message on the radio from a crashed police car. The message talks about a city on the other side of the border. He wants us to go south. He already talks about us as if we were a group. He says, we must help each other, he says. Ben thinks that it's the best to all go together. A group, a herd. Tomorrow we'll head to Seattle. There's a talk of a safe point, a migration. Shannon, Lydia, they're somewhere on that road. May 6th. I found some press clippings in the house of an old woman who decided to take her own life. The woman craved a hobby. The woman craved a hobby at the height of the catastrophe. Woman craved a hobby. I think it occurred only recently because of the smell of the body. It appeared that they declared a war all over the world, living humans against shadows of the dead. The government didn't skimp in order to fight against the disease. They used armies, firearms, hundreds of doctors. Each person defended himself in their own way. At the beginning of April, a nuclear power station in the Soviet Union exploded. I think it was called Chernobyl. In Pripyat, it was abandoned to its fate. Atomic bombs were dropped in China, Korea, also the southeast of the United States, it seems. For a few days, the world became a gigantic fireball. I don't know what we're going to find in Seattle. On the road, you meet all types, but they're all heading to the same place, safe haven, safe point. It's on the radio, they say. Well, that's where we're heading. May 14th. We're almost there, by the way. Surviving is not child's play, particularly when darkness falls. Nights repeat themselves, and our travels never begin. Botch that up. We travel slowly, stealing fuel from abandoned cars. Sometimes we come across the shadows. Other times we must confront them. You must shoot them in the head. That's all. This is the only advice that God gives us to survive his apocalypse of the dead that wake up and walk. Apocalypse of the dead that wake up and walk. Why the hyphens here? That's ADWW. They call them ADWWs. Survive his ADWWs, apocalypse of the dead that wake up and walk. But if it's true that they are not alive, why do they need to feed on us? Because they're zombies. Now the nightmare doesn't end at sunrise. We woke up at dawn in an abandoned barn next to the survivor group from Seattle, together with Ben. The twins were not sleeping this time. No, instead, they were screaming. They were screaming outside. The university professor was outside for his watch. The university professor had been attacked while he was watching over us. A bite on his arm. He was bleeding. We had to clean up the area. Later, the redhead guy, the damn university professor,